Ah, maybe with everything that's been going on, plus you attended the mandamanos.
Mm. Actually, niligongwa kichwa. I have a very nice wound up here. I am hoping it won't toa my hair.
Nani alikugonga?
Kulirushwa tear gas kujaribu kukimbia. Unaona venye mnajaribingi kuingia kwa duka ndo mjiprotect. Huo
Uh-huh.
mtu afunga hiyo gate juu ya kichwa yangu.
Oh my God.
Mm. I stood there for like 5 minutes. Sikuwa naona. It was
Oh
so
my goodness, I'm so sorry.
It's okay, no worries. Inapona. At least so far haijanikatia nywele. I hope it won't.
And you haven't gone to hospital?
No, it wasn't that bad. But nimeona sasa imescab. Nimepata scab. Hata I didn't know there's a wound until venye ili scab.
Mm, 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 mm.
I just had a really bad headache for a day and then ikaisha.
Mm.
It wasn't that bad.
Okay, people are joining.
Hi guys. Hi, I saw Stella had joined earlier. Sister Stella, I'm imagining
Hi,
the guys. How's your Saturday?
very slow too and very cold.
Manze,
Nimechoka.
it's July. Some of us slow down in July. Sijui tunakuanga kama winter. July ikifika, you go into hibernation.
We, ni kubaya.
Digitize,
But
I'm
I'm
thinking
happy
that.
to be here.
Sorry?
But I'm happy to be here.
Happy to have you. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
I'm recording, yes, I am. Alright. Digitize mtaani, mambo Joseph.
Niko fiti, how are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Gaston, hi. Quite a lot of new people. Welcome. Um, Lydia wensha kuongelesha. Hi Priscilla.
Hi.
Hey, welcome. Hope your Saturday is good.
Yep.
Samuel, Yvonne, hi guys, morning.
Morning.
All right, awesome. So, I think we can start. We have good quorum. First of all, karibuni sana. Um, Sorry about that. Someone was texting me. Welcome to the space. The aim of this is just to have discussion. So this is not a class. I'm just sorting something out. My wife, I just decided to misbehave. So I'm
Oh,
trying
good.
to use my bundles. So endelea tu kidogo ni connect on my other computer so that I record.
Okay. Um, so I think it's a very good space where we live in today, in terms of freelancing and whatnot. One of the things that and freelancing could be anything from a medical doctor to a lawyer to whoever. I mean, everything can be freelanced at some point. I think, do we agree?
Mm, true.
Uh, and so probably now what would cut across, what will come on point is, so how do you define your line of freelancing? What line would you want to take, for example, and say, I remember some time back, before COVID, I was doing loans, selling loans on behalf of different organizations at a commission. And really that propelled me into a space that I did not think I would be in. And later then, I think the same year or a year after, that is when we started hearing about drop shipping and stuff like that, which I see most people now doing. You don't own a product, but you can sell it. In layman's language, you call it brokerage, I think.
Hmm.
So I think it's a very good space, and the world is opening up where you really don't need to depend on one particular line of one revenue stream. So you diversify it so that the aim is to fill the bucket, and to grab the bag. So I think it's a good space. So probably I can hear from Philomena too.
Hello, I just joined, so I don't know mmefikia wapi unless mtu like
Eh,
go through
mbona
mahali
yako
mmeanzia.
nikakuokota. But Anne has been here for a while, so probably Anne can also tell us something as Karen sorts herself out.
Hi everyone.
Yeah.
I hope I'm audible enough.
Hi, Anne.
Hi Lydia, my good friend. My name is Ann Nyokabi. I am a social media manager and strategist, doing it as a freelance for different brands out here on the social media space. For me, I do it as a full-time job. I call it my 8 to 5. I don't have any other side hustle. So basically, that's me. I'm just interested in this space. I think it's about, okay, it's not space, God. In this conversation, because I think we face different challenges as freelancers that is not out here, for many people don't know, or you sometimes you think you're facing a challenge alone, but then when you talk to someone you're like, ah, kumbe even you face that too. So I think it's a good conversation to be in. I'm looking forward to learn from all of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Philomena. Thank you so much, Gaston, for taking over. Tunaona leadership qualities. Thank you for that. Um, so welcome, guys. Welcome to the space. And I think I'll continue what Gaston had started, and we'll just go around and quickly introduce ourselves, get to know each other. The aim of today's space was to discuss where to start. And I'm glad that I'm hearing we have a few people who have experience in this space, and we can assist guys who are just starting out. And hopefully, even within those discussions, even us who have been in the space for a while, we can learn new tricks and new ways of thinking and looking at this trade. And hopefully, it will assist us to propel our businesses forward. I think what Anne has said is very true. The challenges that you face as a freelancer are very different from the challenges that you face as an employee. And usually I find freelance to be like the bridge between employment and going all the way to to full-time business, I think it's usually a really good bridge because it's very easy to enter. It doesn't cost you anything, or if it does, it's not much. So the barrier to entry is quite low. And if you have been employed anywhere, it means you have a skill that someone is willing to pay for. So if I was employed as an admin in an office, it means that I have skills that someone is willing to pay for, and I can transfer those skills into freelancing. If I was working in the marketing department, I have skills that someone was willing to pay for, and I can transfer those skills into freelance. Whereas an employee, I have one client. As a freelancer, I'm able to have multiple. So that's the way that I look at freelance. So having said that, my name is Karen Miner. Sorry, I didn't start with that. I'm a freelancer. I'm a freelance content marketing strategist and writer. I started writing, I think, when I was a baby, and then I went professional in 2018. I went full time, I think, a year or so ago. So that's me. I am the founder of Creative Mama, which is a space where we help women start businesses from the comfort of their home. And I'm not being biased against men. I just find that the 9 to 5 space is not conducive for women. That's my opinion. And so we try to find ways that they can earn a living, because we live in a world where you need to make money, even as a woman, where you're able to earn a living and yet live in your femininity, which I think is something we're losing as a society. All right, so I think I can go to Caitlin. Caitlin, you can quickly introduce yourself. We can give ourselves maybe 10 minutes, and then from there we go into the discussion itself.
Okay, thank you, Karen. Hi, everyone. My name is Caitlin Stella. I'm a content writer. I can say that. It's the first time I'm taking it like seriously. Mm, I met Karen. We have spoken with her online, that is, and she really motivated me. And for today's session, I'm really happy because it's not going to be a class like other classes. It's going to be a place where we talk and we discuss. So I'm very happy to be here, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you. And I know I owe you something. I'll send it to you. Naomi, how are you? Good morning. Naomi,
Good morning, Karen.
morning, dear.
Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Nomi Karaoke. I do some stuff from digital marketing, though I don't do everything. So I do social media management, I do also the marketing, I do email marketing, and at times I also do advise some of these people that I do get from my social media pages who want to be advised on coming up with social media strategies. So also I started my freelancing journey like I'm getting into I can say I'm 1.5 year old into the journey, and I can say it's been an amazing journey. I've been learning a lot, and I'm hoping to learn a lot from people as we engage here. Thank you.
Thanks, Naomi. Philomena, how are you? Maybe you can introduce yourself now.
Hi, I'm Philomena. I do social media management and marketing. Yeah, basically that's it. That's what I do, and I'm happy to be in this space. I've interacted with a few of you, Karen, Lydia, Shiko, and they've been inspiring me a lot in this journey. So I'm grateful to be here to share one or two things and to learn more. Thank you.
Amazing. Karibu sana. Hi, Priscilla. I really like your picture. Say hi to us.
Thanks. Hi everyone. Priscilla Mudhoni is my name. Sometimes I also go by the name Madam PMM, so one and the same person. I work in a school as admissions, communications, and marketing manager, so juggling three hats. But we work with a team. I'm I'm here as part of Digitize. I love the conversations, and I'm interested in learning how to venture into freelancing. as part of offering the services, skills gained over the years in the digital space. So that's why I'm thank you.
Awesome. Karibu sana. Hi, Rebecca. Rebecca. It's like she's not around. Hi, Samuel. Samuel, are you around?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, my name is Samuel Omari from a group called Task Titan. We offer virtual assistant services. And into the freelance world, we just new, trying to venture so that we can utilize the digital space that comes with it. So I'd be glad to learn from this session. Thank you.
Thanks, Samuel. Karibu sana. Wangoi I don't want to say that name because I'll say it wrong. Wangoi? And I'm a cute, I should be chapward. Wangoi?
Hello, hi.
Hi, Wangoi.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Hi. I'm just hi. I'm just looking to learn, but I'd like to get started
Okay, maybe you
on the business.
okay, maybe you can let us know if there's a particular space you're interested in.
Oh yes, yes. I have marketing and
Sorry. Hello?
I have hello. I have marketing experience, so I'm just looking to add more knowledge in that area.
Okay, so are you looking to like freelance in the marketing in the digital marketing space? Or just the marketing space
Yes,
in
yes.
general?
The digital space as well.
All right, cool. Cool. Karibu
Yeah.
sana. Hi, Yvonne. Yvonne Disho.
Hi, Karen.
Hey.
Okay, so for me, I'm a freelancer, and I used to have an 8 to 5 actually, but that like I was like, no, I can't do this. I can spend 3 hours on transit. I get home tired, so I left my 8 to 5 and decided to be a freelancer full time. I work with local and international brands as a social media manager, SEO expert, and I also do some PPC. So yeah, I'm still learning how to leverage the digital space, maybe manage more clients. So I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Oh, you're an SEO expert I've been looking for. And do you do technical SEO?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Rebecca, are you back? Okay. Rebecca ni kama umeenda kutengeneza chai kwanza. We hope you can hear us though. So I think with that we can start the conversation. So the conversation was where to start. What do you guys think is the biggest impediment to someone starting their freelance work? What do you think is the biggest thing that limits people from starting freelancing? And even for you, where you are as a freelancer, obviously you're at some level and there's another level that you want to go to. What do you think stops us from starting that new level? And for the complete beginner, what stops them from even taking that first step? Sijui nani atatuanzishia conversation.
Can I say something through experience?
Yes.
So I think most people do. You might be having the skills, but imposter syndrome, where most people keep on doubting themselves, especially when you keep on comparing yourself with people who are in the industry for a longer time. Then you check your content, you start checking their content, you start checking like how many followers they have, the influence they have on platforms like LinkedIn. So advise someone to it's not an easy journey, but just try to get rid of imposter syndrome. um, then just ensure, as long as you are, I can put it this way, as long as you are sure of what you are doing, don't listen to the external voices. You do you, and the right clients will come. And I can say the first place, if you are not so sure, like even start with, like depending with what you want to offer. So you can start with places like Fiverr and Upwork. If it doesn't work, try even creating your own professional pages. That's all I can say.
100%. Philomena is saying fear and imposter syndrome. I think that's true. Um, because I think I don't know if there's anyone else who wants to contribute.
Okay, for me, I can say maybe apart from fear and imposter syndrome, those are like the major cause. Also, society norms, like people don't really, in our society, okay, people have started to embrace, but me, my mom, you cannot convince her that you're working from home. She does not understand. Ako like, ni nini unafanya hapo kwa laptop the whole day? She's trying to sell. Maybe also society, like uh, people want to see you going to an office from 8 to 5. That means like you have a serious job. Yeah, that is also something that I had a challenge with, but with time, my mom has been able to understand. Yeah.
Very true. Mimi, to this day, my dad is like, you need to get a job where you have pension. How na pension? Pension is the biggest thing for most of our parents. It's like, what are you doing without pension? Utaenda wapi ukizeeka? I don't know if you guys have experienced that, but if your job does not have pension, you are not working. You're doing other things, right? And that creates a lot of fear for you as well, where you're like, wow, will I work for this number of years, and then I'm 60 years old and I don't have any money saved for my old age? It can be so horrible, right? Someone says self-doubt. Absolutely. And I think with self-doubt, you'll hear someone saying, I still have to learn skills. I want to learn more skills. I'm not refusing. Learning skills will never end. Even someone who has been in the field for 20 years is still learning. But it shouldn't be the reason you don't start. And for most of us, that's a reason we use. Hi, Caitlin. Semani Ambenisikia.
Hi, Karen. I think I'm talking out of experience. You see, these things you're saying, fear, self-doubt, all of them, and saying kwanza hapo kwa ati lazima uongeze skill. For like 2 years I've been saying that, and it is really bad. And then another thing I noticed, mimi nikianza, I had this mentality that kuspecialize si lazima. Like I can do like, sijui kama unakumbuka we talked about this. Like I was saying I can do this and this. You like, mi ninaona ni kama mtu anakosa direction, but if you set, there's something I was seeing yesterday, like you know where you want to be, you know what you have to offer. No, I started wrong. Like you know where you are, you know where you want to be, and you know what you can offer. When you start from there, I think like utaanza vizuri, lakini ukianza tu like because you are starting, it is really bad. Like kama mimi place niko, it is really bad. So like sitaki kusema mtu lazima akuwe na ka plan, but having a plan is also a good thing. So when you lack it, unakuwa tu disoriented, hauko, sijui kama unanielewa.
No, I understand you. If you don't know what you need to do, you'll never do anything at all. I get you completely.
Exactly. Yeah, true.
100%. Right. Awesome. Is there anyone else who wants to add to the conversation? before I move on? Okay, so like to may understand that these are the issues that stop you from starting. So let me ask, who was your first client, and how did you manage to go past those fears and self doubts and um, um, all the issues that we have discussed, the imposter syndrome, the self doubt, the procrastination? Like, how did you get past all that to go out and get your first clients? For me, let me maybe start the conversation. For me, ilikuwa kuteseka. Like when you suffer enough, you need enough problems so that they look bigger than the fear. For me, that's what worked. Because I was working at Bank of Africa and I hated it. I was depressed. I was so tired. And it was like, now I'd rather just die. And that propelled me to take the first step. Like the misery of my present made me overcome the fear of what was coming. That was what worked for me. Gaston, let's hear from you. Sema tusikie.
Well, of course, we all have a motivator, and mostly motivator is always the bug. However, one of the reasons why I went into freelancing, this was just post COVID. I really wanted to figure out the intrigues, what goes into a hospital, because at that time I had lost my mother-in-law, and I was like, oh shoot. So if this is how hospitals communicate, why can't I do something about it? So bit by bit, I started reaching out to a couple of facilities around. And my first client was St. Bridget Hospital, somewhere in Kiambu. And when I was pitching this whole idea to the lady, she didn't get quite the vibe. And she was like, we don't need that, because hospitals, you come because you want to get treated and stuff like that. And I was like, no, these things are changing. There's a big shift happening, that you need to communicate properly, um, from the medic side to just a normal person without the heavy jargons and whatnots. And then she was like, Sawa, we'll discuss about that. A week later, she died, COVID. And so the son took over. When the son took over, he was just going through his mom's documents after like a month or so. And then he came about my proposal. And since the hospital was now struggling because the founder is dead, this guy gave me a call. And so, yeah, I took it up. I went to consult. That's where I learned my entire craft about marketing for hospitals, digital marketing for hospitals, graphics and whatnot. So I took it up. And later, AR Hospital looked at what is happening at St. Bridget. They wanted to know who's behind this. I moved to AR. From AR, now I moved to Avenue Healthcare. But I'm still doing consultancy for different organizations who might be interested in my skill in terms of communication. Because I come with two angles, straight communication, and then there's the marketing bit side of it as a non-medic. So that just puts me straight up, lucky enough to say above the rest. Yeah.
Awesome. Anyone else who would like to? That's just awesome. Anyone else who would like to add to the conversation on how you got over the hurdles to actually get into the business and landing that first client? Yes, Naomi.
I can say mine was almost similar to yours. You have to ask yourself, do you have to keep on living every day complaining? So the answer is no. And if you're not happy and if you don't do anything about it, how you like what impact are you making, like even in your own life? So ensure just you do something that fulfills you. I can say also understanding that I don't have to be begging people for help each and every time. I have to help myself first. When you understand that and you get the point here, if I don't do this, if I don't keep on pushing myself, I'll never get a step ahead. Then even if you have that one client and you don't keep on doing the work for you to get more clients, and unaishi peke yako, who's going to pay your rent, who's going to buy your food? So that understanding that you're your own person on your own and you need to survive, you need to ensure that you have peace of mind. Because I'm not against employment. There are very good places where you can get employment, but let's be truthful, there are also those places where you are never happy, and I've experience in that. And if you can offer your skill and you keep on transferring, like saying, oh, I'll do this tomorrow, what will change? So I can say just start where you are and get rid of everything, because if you don't do it yourself, nobody's going to come and rescue you.
Very that's very Naomi, very direct. Hit it on the nail. Very true. Very, very true. Um hit it on the nail. Hakuna mtu no one is coming to save you. We have to save ourselves. That's true. Difficult thing to realize, but true. Anyone else wants to join in on that conversation of what got you over the first hurdle? Okay. So there's something Gaston said that I want to get back to, but first let's answer this question. So what's the bare minimum for you to actually start the business? Like, what's the bare minimum? If you have those, then hauna excuse why you've not started. It's just you yourself who is um, holding yourself back. What's the bare minimum? For the new guys who are coming in, how can we discuss the bare minimum? Yes, digitize. Yvonne says,
So
mhm.
for me, the bare minimum, for me, I started with zero, nothing. I actually didn't even have a phone. I started at zero, but I had the desire for pursuing something, anything in the online space, as long as it was on the online space. I wanted to get in there and do something. I was just recovering as an alcoholic, so I really needed something to do with myself. So at that point, I was like at zero, kidogo nilale nje. So I think as long as you have the desire and know that you want to get into freelancing, somehow you'll get it. You'll get it to work. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, just the desire, and somehow things tu zitafunguka.
Samuel says passion, and I agree. The passion is required. And I love what you have said, Joseph, because I think there are people who look at themselves and think, I can't do this. But I think the bare minimum is you, right? If you say, this is something that I want to do, this is the direction, what Kate Stella had said at the beginning. If you understand this is where I am and this is where I want to go, if you have that clarity, you'll figure it out and you'll make it work. That's very true. Yes, Esther.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. So for me, my bare minimum, it was desire. I had this quote that said there is a difference between knowing something will be a waste of time versus knowing that something might be a waste of time. So you see, in employment, because like someone had said, coming from employment, when you are unhappy, you know that that one will is a waste of time. And freelancing might be a waste of time. You won't realize until you get at the end of it. So for me, it was the desire of, hey, um, the employment world is not going to be that sustainable in the future, especially with all the AI that is coming up. So instead of relying on someone to provide you with income, why don't you go out there and create income for yourself? And I was telling my mom, like, one of the biggest letdown our parents have done is that they haven't taught us how to make money by ourselves, independent from our employers. because them they benefited from all these government programs that were there in terms of giving them employment, even pensions. They even had shares. And for us, like our generation, we don't have that. In fact, if you get a medical cover, you are blessed in that organization. Yeah, so that is it for me.
It's very true. I like what you've said. Like the things that our parents had the privilege. Like my dad was telling me, when he finished Form 4, he finished Form 4. He got, I think, I don't know what they used how they used to mark those days. I think a 2 or a 1. I can't remember. But if a 1 was the highest, he got a 2. And he was like, the bank came for him at home to give him a job.
Curious, was he employed by Moi?
It was those years. I think he finished years a Moi. So
Yeah.
the bank came for him at home. They're like, we've
Yeah.
heard you've gotten very high marks, and he has not even gone to college. It's high school. He has finished his his which is the first one, A or O levels?
I don't even know.
The first one, O levels. He had not done his A levels. It was just O levels, and they were like, come work for us, and he was like, no, I want to do my O levels as well. So like that was the opportunities that they had in their days. But in our days, you have a master's degree and no one cares. No one even, it's not a big deal for anyone in today's world. So I like what you said. Like we are living in very different societies, and if you don't create opportunities for yourself in this society, utajipata matatani. So for the guys who've just walked in, we're talking about the bare minimum. What's the bare minimum for starting your freelance business? And I like what everyone has said. And I think for me, what I usually teach in Creative Mama is you pick a niche, you decide what it is that you want to offer. So if, for example, you want to do communication for hospitals, like Gaston has said, you've decided that's what you want to do. So in his statement, he has already decided on the skill, marketing and communication, and his niche, healthcare. You have those two things. If they require samples or a proposal, create that, and then just from there, just go look for clients. Don't overthink it. And I think that's the biggest thing that happens because you're afraid and you need to procrastinate. You overthink issues. When I got my first client, I didn't even have samples. I just had a personal blog. I had a blog where I used to write. I sent it to her and I was like, this is an example of my work. And I got a client. So don't think that, don't allow your mind to lie to you that you need to add more things for you to get a client. Just go out and try. And as you're trying, you can figure out how to improve your samples. You can figure out how to improve your proposal. But in the meantime, you're actually out there looking for clients. So the question that I wanted to ask next is, when I was listening to Gaston, it was very clear, like he was very clear on the value that he's bringing to his clients, right? It was like, I'm helping you communicate to layman or on very technical issues, because medical communication is very technical. So my job is to help you communicate clearly to your clients who are not technical in that way. So the value was clear, right? I'm bringing in more clients and I'm helping you also create the right rapport with the clients that you already have. I don't know if that's correct, Gaston. Ama nasema tu vitu zangu hapa hivi.
Oh, yeah, that's correct, Karen. That's correct.
Yeah. So, like, how do we figure out the value that we bring to clients? Because I think that's one of the biggest challenges. Last week we were talking to guys. I was talking to guys. They were doing a poll on my community, and one of the biggest things was natuma emails, but hakuna mtu anajibu. So how do you get so clear on the value that you are offering your client so that you can communicate it in the emails that you send, when you're looking for those clients, when you're approaching them, like uko clear on the value unaleta? How do we figure it out? And maybe Gaston, we can start with you, because when you talked about it, it was so clear you understood the value that you're bringing. How can we as freelancers, even as we grow our businesses, become clear on the value that we offer clients, and how do we communicate that as we are looking for these customers? Gaston, kama nimekuweka in the spotlight. Maybe I can start as I wait for, I don't know whether Gaston is still with us. Amma, does anyone else want to contribute to that question, or do I repeat? Like, how do you get clear on value in your now offer? So, like Naomi, you're an SMM. What value do you offer to your customers, and how are you able to communicate that?
Let me answer.
Mm-hmm.
So the messaging part is very, very important. You have to know the value you're offering, because ukicommunicate vitu haziko clear, clients watakuwa skeptical, watakuwa a bit apprehensive kukupatia job. And it to cost, because for us tukianza, we were not clear on what we were offering. Mara tuna train business owners, mara tunafanya digital marketing. It was not clear. Ukituambia tufanye web design, tutafanya. Ukituambia tufanye graphic, tutafanya. We were not clear. We were just, tulikuwa tunafanya kila kitu. And I think it to cost a whole year in freelancing, but we did not hit our goals. And I think the messaging part is what cost us so much. So yeah, like what you said, kukua clear, like Gaston said, anasaidia hospitals in their messaging. It's very, very good to know. It's very simple. Make it very simple. Equal to short and direct. Kenya unasaidia huyo client, ile value atapata from your services. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
Thank you, Lydia. Yes, Harvin, thank you so much, Lydia. That's very true. Like the less clear you are on the value that you're offering, the more time you'll waste, and the less likely you will find clients being willing to pay for your services. Harvin, your hand was up.
Hello, morning everyone.
Morning, dear.
Okay, so like just to add to what Lydia said, right? So there's some things like some business terms and stuff that which I think also adds to the whole fear of starting, right? So there are a few things that you need to think about in a business mind when you are coming up with what you're doing, right? So one is called value proposition, and the other one is called your business, your buyer persona. Now, like for people especially who may not, I mean, even if you're a marketer or whatever, you may not be conversant, and these terms, the way they're named, it can intimidate you, because even when I was sitting down with my own business plan, I was like, oh my God, what's this and what's that? But value proposition and buyer persona are the two main things that you need to have. You don't need to sit down and make a whole business plan, right? Like when you're starting a company. So you need to know, okay, when you're in your value proposition, you're writing down, you're putting together what skills do you have, what value can they add to somebody, and you're coming up with a statement and a small breakdown of what that includes. Then when you then sidebar and go to your buyer persona, now who will want to buy the things that you provide, right? So you create that persona that, okay, I'm a social media manager. This is what I want to do. I can do graphics, I can do posting, I can do scheduling. Okay, so which type of people need this type of services? So then you create, so someone, it could be a small business, it could be an individual running an NGO, like, so you figure out what that buyer persona is. And then what you're trying to do is match the two, right? Because there are places where there'll be gaps. It's not necessarily what you come up as your value proposition is going to match directly to your buyer persona. So that is what is called now the gap analysis, and that's what, like, when the venture companies call, what do they call it, market gap fit, something like that. So now you're trying to align the two, and then that's where you, when you align the two within your value proposition and what your buyer persona is, then you move on to market to that buyer persona, because now you will be directly translating what you can do and how it can benefit them into a message which will attract them to you. So in my opinion, creating that value proposition and creating that buyer persona is what is going to guide you on your next parts, on your marketing, on your networking, on your client relationships. So I think that is the solid base that you need to start on. And then from there, you have to also be able to be adaptable and, take feedback and see what's working and what's not working. So I think that will form the basis of success.
Awesome. Wow, those are very marketing, like, principles of marketing, right? What Havin is talking about, like the bio persona. And when you hear the word bio persona, you think it's a big thing, but it's just identifying who your client is, what they do on a daily basis, what they're looking for, and such. Thank you, Harvin. Naomi?
To add to what Havin has said, when you create that buyer persona, you're in a position now to identify the market gap. So personally, even let me speak as an SMM. So from there, what you can do, as much as you want to do everything in social media management, sometimes it's just one little thing that a certain uh, prospective client has that problem, and you can check even via the social media pages and also the LinkedIn and all that. So sometimes you'll find this client, maybe they are having problems like in the funnel, whether it's creating awareness, uh, converting, or retention. So where you can be in a position to assist. Now when you notice that, like, this is the problem that this client has, now you can go to them and explain to them how you can solve that problem. You don't have to do everything under social media management. It can just be the awareness part. Maybe you want to help them with a certain campaign, you've noticed the problem. Yeah, I can say that we can also help you, like, that can help you get to, for a client to trust you, and for them to understand that you know what you're talking about.
100%. Very true. Very true. Understand the problem. That's, like, for me, the biggest. Understand the problem that you're solving. Yes, Esther.
Um, so for me, I think another way you can figure out your value proposition, or even what you are trying to solve or offer the customer, is the kind of problems you yourself have encountered in your life during as you interact with other businesses. So for example, my internet provider has decided today it's not a day to have internet, and I keep on telling them, you guys need a better system in terms of how you communicate with your customers, because I can't be calling you every single day to complain about my internet. So that's a problem that I face with my internet service provider, and that's a value proposition I can offer to them, because I know from how they handle their business, they are failing in handling customers, like the way Gaston has said when he was giving his example. And then the other way might be, yeah, that's it.
Thank you. I love what you guys have said, and I think it boils down to business is about solving problems. And I think as freelancers, that's where sometimes we error, right? Especially in the beginning, where you're not sure what problem it is you're solving, and you can separate yourself from all other freelancers in the space if you understand a unique problem, or you really go deeper into the issue that you're solving. I'll give you guys an example of myself. I'm a content writer, right? That's part of what I do. And what I'm a big niche that I write in is the cannabis space. One of the biggest problems in cannabis is how regulated it is. Where it is legal, it is heavily regulated. Now, there are certain words you cannot use, there are certain images you cannot use, there are certain places you cannot advertise in. Having that understanding is so important to a cannabis business. Having someone who understands how to communicate, how to write their content in a manner that doesn't get them in problems with the law. And that's a unique space that I am able to tap into and say, I understand the regulations around cannabis communication, and I'm able to ensure that your communication is within the regulations, is within the space of law. Now that's a unique thing, that's a problem they have, and I figured out how to fix it within my space of within the offering that I give. So, what is the problem that you're helping them solve? Another issue is there's a lot of scientific jargon within the cannabis space because there's a lot of medical, a lot of the legal cannabis, like in Australia, it's medicinal. They don't have recreational. So how to break down very technical things into simple things that people can understand is another value. So when I'm writing my emails to them, I'm able to show that while yes, I will write articles for you, while yes, they will be SEO optimized and they will allow you to bring in more clients, I also have ABCD, which means that we will have better communication for you. So that understanding of the exact issue that you are coming in to solve and making sure that it is in your emails. You're not putting in, I know that like for the guys I train, I give you a template, but that template should be the starting point, right? And then you figure out how am I bringing in as much value as I can based on the specific issues that this industry or this client may have. And that means doing a little bit of research. And if you're able to go that extra mile, then you will begin to close some really interesting clients. Yes, digitize.
So, for the perspective I bring into understanding the problem that I am solving is I try to look at whatever is happening in a particular industry from the eyes of my clients, so that whenever I'm writing to them, trying to reach out, it's a new perspective that I'm trying to build, so that they see me as one of them, only that I work in a different department. For example, because I help them create videos, edit them, and give them creative ideas on how they can come up with their videos. I try to show them that we are in the same industry, only that I work in a different department, in the content marketing department. This this minimizes the initial uh, the barrier between the two of us. It really reduces this, because if they think that I'm a person, if they see me as a video editor or a person who creates visual content or a content marketer, they're thinking of me as a very different entity who does not understand what they do. But if they see that I understand what they do, something that you really mentioned and emphasized on, then it becomes very easy for me to communicate with them, show them my value, and we are able to remedy and offer them solutions really easily.
That's really good. And I think like that strategy that you've given Joseph, even when they are cutting out like they're trying to reduce their expenses because they see you as one of their departments, it's very hard for them to just get rid of you because unajua saa zenye departments zina reduce budget, freelancers mnakwanga on the first line of hiring. Anyway, on a lighter note, yes, Claire.
Good morning.
Morning.
One of my favorite ways to understand what questions are being asked by users. So my area is the skincare space, specifically for people of color. And so one of my favorite ways to find out what problems people are facing is to go to websites like Amazon and, let's say, find a book and read through the reviews, or Goodreads and find reviews and find out which problems people are actually facing. Reddit is also really great for that, and be able to create content around that, whether it's for my portfolio or whether I am pitching a new client, or just trying to understand what is going on in people's minds in order to stay relevant to what problems I'm solving.
That's a really good strategy. And there's also another website called Answer something, Answer the nitaikumbuka, I'll let
The
you
public.
know.
Answer the
Answer the
public.
public. I think also that can give you ideas. Answer the public. Thank you, Florence. Sawa sawa. So that brings me to the end of my questions. I don't know if there's anything anyone would like us to tackle before we come to the end of the meeting. We have 7 minutes. Anything anyone feels we need to discuss on where to start, uh, which is our topic for today, where to start. Any question anyone has that we can answer for them as a group before we end the meeting.
Uh, I would like to ask, maybe as freelancers, given the political, atmosphere in Kenya, do, do you feel that this will affect your business, and maybe what mitigating measures are you taking? For example, personally, I'm thinking of moving away from local clients and to looking for dollar clients and Europe clients more than local clients whom I've been working with, because currently the political atmosphere is not very friendly for businesses. So maybe I'd like to hear what is your perspective in regards to this.
Yes, Gaston.
Or digitize. While you're trying to move away from local, I also want to know how do I get that international client? That is one space I'm struggling with. I've done hospitals, yes. I but I also need to get a client outside our borders. That is where I'm looking for. I would love some insights too, fam.
All right, awesome. So we can answer both questions concurrently where it's possible. How are you making sure that that you're safe during this political stuff that's going on? And then how do we get more international clients? I think that's a really good question. Claire.
Yes, I decided earlier on, I actually decided to pitch exclusively to international clients and work with international clients, simply because local businesses were a headache. I wasn't getting the right client for what I was producing. They were not seeing value in it, and so I moved exclusively to international clients. And my goal has always been to have at least 2 clients per continent, if that makes sense. And so it is pitching, but it's also finding recommendations from my current clients, because people are always happy to help you expand your business. You just need to put it out there. So if you are able to have um, a a casual professional relationship. I don't know how to put it, but if you're able to see whoever you're pitching to, whoever has been your client, not pitching to, sorry, and ask them, hey, do you know anyone else who would find value in this, in what I'm doing? And 9 times out of 10, someone is always willing to help. So my source has always been to get recommendations and then use those recommendations to get new clients.
Yeah, and I love what you've said. And I think one of the best things about the freelance world, I'm not very sure about how it is in Kenya because I only have one client in Kenya, but usually it's a very casual relationship for most people. Even the way we write our emails, across to each other. They're usually quite relaxed. They're not so formal. Like, or maybe it's because I'm comparing it to working in the bank where everything is so formal. But I think those relationships, building those networks, is so critical for getting new clients. Naomi?
One way of getting those international clients that has worked for me is commenting in groups. To be specific, let me be comfortable with talking like on LinkedIn. Like you join those groups, especially there are those ones for moms in business from USA, UK, and all that. Then don't promote yourself. So maybe someone goes there and asks a question, so I just give a solution. So that's one way you find people even coming to you, like offering solutions in where you understand that your target client is based.
Thank you, Naomi. That's a really good way. I don't know if there's anyone else. Joseph, I would say in terms of protecting ourselves in regard to what is happening politically here, obviously, yes, there's number one, looking for international clients, which I think is the advantage of being in the digital space. You're not bound to boundaries, right? You can go everywhere. And I usually say, you may not be able to go directly to the US and Canada immediately. I don't think you should stop yourself. You should try, but you may start with South Africa. You may start with Nigeria. I think those two countries in Africa have really embraced the digital space, and you'll find there are more opportunities in South Africa and Nigeria compared to Kenya. Now, the pay may not be as grand as Canada and the US, but it is a place to start, right? And I think that is another way of uh, protecting yourself from what is happening right now. Just moving out of the boundaries of Kenya and then eventually moving out of the boundaries of Africa. But I also think within Kenya itself, we may need to start spreading our risks where you have more than one business. I think that is something that as freelancers, we need to think about. If your freelance business has stood, how can you move it into the digital online business space where you are probably selling products or something like that? You've automated it as much as possible. And so while you still are selling your time, as a freelancer, there's something that you have set up online because you have those skills. There's something that you have set up online that allows you to continue bringing in money without your presence. So, like for example, Gaston, how can you teach communications people in different hospitals how to approach communication the right way? So, can you set up a space for them to learn that, where whether your time is there or not, it's bringing in money, and you've set it up in a way where you're not just talking to Kenyan communicators, you're talking to global communicators, and you can sell those products across boundaries. That opens you up to more security and allows you to spread your risks. So I would encourage, don't confine yourself to always selling your time as a freelancer. Once your freelance business is a little stable, find time to start building something online that creates income without your presence. And I think that's a great way of protecting yourself from what is happening uh, in this space, because that online business is not just selling to Kenya, it's selling across the globe. And if there's a service you are creating, it means there are people who want to learn how to do that the right way. It's just a matter of figuring it out, right? For example, Esther has a space where she helps freelancers with productivity. How do you set that up so that you are selling not just to Kenyan freelancers, you're selling to freelancers across Africa, you're selling to freelancers outside of Africa, and it's a space where you've created those assets and you've just left it alone and it's bringing in money. So I think those are some ways, in my humble opinion, that we can continuously protect ourselves. In terms of what Gaston had asked about international clients, approach them. It's that simple. Approach them. If you have expertise and you can show that you have worked in a medical space, look for those hospitals, find the marketing person, approach them. You can approach them on LinkedIn, that's how I do it, and then approach them on email as well. There are also agencies, marketing agencies that cater to healthcare specifically. So reaching out to those marketing agencies and showing them what it is that you offer may also be another way. So you go to the marketing agency, you get in as a freelancer, and you assist them with communication for hospitals, which is a big thing in the US. There are a lot of, if you just go search content marketing healthcare, you'll get a lot of agencies that do that work and you can approach them. All right. I don't know if that's it for if there's anyone who feels they have something to say before we close. Any closing comments? And as we do those closing comments, just to ask, how did you guys find this space? Do you think it's something we should do maybe once or twice a month? And are there specific things that you feel we should tackle as freelancers? So maybe I can just write them down if there are any, and we can continue with this space if that interests you guys. So you can give us like a closing remarks and you can let us know what you thought of the space and what topics you feel we should handle going forward. Sijui niende nianze kuita watu. Anne, any closing remarks? Yes, Claire.
Great space. I think it would be good to have it at least once a month, and we could go through the process of, for example, now when you get the client, because today we've talked about getting clients, and then let's go to the next step, which would be, let's say now when the client approaches you about payment, how are you going to charge your services based on what level you are? So maybe we could create a series of sorts.
A series, all right. Anyone else who has anything to add to that conversation? So closing clients and then pricing based on level. Okay. Anyone else who has some closing remarks? Gloria, I've not heard you. How are you? Yes, Gaston.
Okay, thanks, Karen. Mine is just a thank you for putting up this together. I really appreciate lots of learning. I will reach out on the side. I'll also reach out to Claire. I think Claire can have your number. If you're in the group, please just say hi. Karen, I will reach out. Yeah, but it's been a lot of learning today, and I really, really appreciate this space. God bless.
Okay. Thank you, Gaston. So do you feel that like we should continue to do it on a monthly basis?
Yeah, we can. I would actually love to host every one of us, say on Tuesday night. We can plan one Tuesday and then we have it on TV. Everyone can tune in from wherever. I'll have your faces pop up on TV. So yeah.
Oh, fun. Florence?
I just need to figure out how to do it. So, but yeah, it's something that we can do. You could be, I can have you carry in the studio, or you can be wherever you are, and then we can have it. We can give it a proper name. We can think through, and then we just have a
Nice.
program.
Yeah. Reach out and let's discuss. I would be very open to that.
Sure, great. Thanks.
All right. So Florence says yes. Gloria says yes. Samuel once a month. Okay. Messaging. Okay. So we do a discussion on messaging. Okay. Anyone else who would like to give a closing remark or let us know what we can do for next time before we close? I don't want to lock out anyone.
Yeah, I think the space has been quite informative. I've learned about, I've seen into different perspectives of freelancing, and I think we should look more about acquiring clients more and more into that, because without the clients, they literally you don't have any business. So, and I think this is normally, once you start freelancing, acquiring clients is normally one of the biggest challenging, which and maintaining them comes at a close second. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I think we should look more into acquiring the clients, and the retention part of the maintaining clients. Yeah, thank you, and I really appreciate.
Thank you, Joseph. Absolutely, those are good topics to discuss. All right, so I think I'll close there. I hope sijafungia mtu yoyote nje. On my part is to say thank you so much for accepting our invitation. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for also being willing to discuss and talk about it. I hope that you have picked at least one thing in this space that you will go and apply in your business. And please let us know how it goes. Hopefully one day we will do a live meetup, like we sit down together, we have some cocktails together. Let's see how that goes. That is my dream, at least. And I also hope that we will get to the place where we support each other. So if I'm a content writer and I'm doing a brochure and I need a graphic designer, then I'll come to one of you, right? If I am doing SEO for a company, then I'll come to, there's a lady who said she does it and I've forgotten her name. Yvonne. I'll come to Yvonne for SEO consultation. So because I think that's another way for us to build businesses together, right? If you're a virtual assistant and you've been given some email marketing work and it's not something that you're good at, then you'll go to Naomi and she'll do the email part for you. So I think that's another way for us to grow our businesses, by connecting and helping each other with the different skills that we have. And that's the desire for this space. So other than that, thank you so much for joining, and I wish you guys an amazing weekend. Be safe, and I pray that your businesses grow and you find good clients both within Kenya and outside. Have a lovely weekend, guys, and thank you so much.
Thank you.